What did Mark Zuckerberg, known as the Zuck, have to say in a recent uh, discussion that he had at a startup school? The startup school is the U.S. Incubator Y Combinator. U.S. Incubator Y Combinator. Sounds like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Where Mark spoke about the foundations of Facebook. If you follow me, you know that I have shared this book with you before. It's a truly wonderful book called The Facebook Effect, the inside story of the company that is connecting the world. Important to note that this book was written actually 2 years ago, and it came out just after the movie Social Network came out. In fact, the cover of the book says, "The real story behind the social network." I saw the Social Network twice. Almost saw it on a third time on a plane ride home from California. Actually, it is actually playing on cable, or it's on my dish. I'm sure it's on cable television right now. It's ongoing, so you have to check your listings in your area and your time on the, I believe it's the FX network that's playing the Social Network. The reason I want to share this with you, the story of Facebook, the beginnings of Facebook, how it got started, why it got started, to me, uh, is the most intriguing story of entrepreneurship that I have ever watched, followed, listened, read. It started out as a very, very simple idea, became so popular that it has evolved into the most powerful network communication community ever built. And I sincerely doubt that there will ever be a community built that is larger than the more than 1 billion profiles. I was just reading, I think yesterday or the day before, I believe the Zuck is in India right now trying to get the support of the Indian government to open up Facebook to all of India. And right now, I believe there are 30,000, I think was the number I read, 30,000 Indian users who have profiles on Facebook, which to me actually sounds like a pretty small number. But if he does get the support of the government, the number of Facebook users will overnight increase by millions in India. And then the next big hurdle that the Zuck has in expanding the reach of Facebook is in China. And if he ever gets the support of the Chinese government in Facebook, which will be in and of itself, if he can get that done, it'll just be totally phenomenal. That number will increase maybe overnight by 1 billion Facebook users. The numbers are just staggering. More important is the concept of the business. And right now, his biggest challenge is to figure out how to monetize the Facebook effort. And that's always an important challenge in any business. We might have a great idea. It does not become a great business idea until we are able to figure out how to make money doing whatever it is that we do. And believe it or not, as large as Facebook is, it is very challenging for them to create a business model that will make money and convince Wall Street, the Wall Street investors, the millions of shareholders of Facebook stock, that it is indeed a company that will continue to expand, continue to make money. There are two great business challenges, probably the two greatest challenges in Facebook right now are development of a search engine, because just that the massive information, 500 million people, 500 million people use Facebook more than 3 hours a day. Are you one of them? Are you one of them? I can't imagine folks spending 3 hours a day in something outside of eating, sleeping, doing a job, but that's what the studies show. So Facebook has to build a meaningful, significant search engine because of all that information that is collected on a second-by-second basis. Once the Zuck gets that information, he has teams and hundreds and thousands of people figuring out how to make money on all that information that they're collecting. So in the sense that we know search engine, and we know the search engine, Google the best. Google represents about close to 75% of all searches for information initiate at Google. Have you guys seen the ad that is running on television right now? It's kind of humorous to me, where Bing, the search engine owned by Microsoft, it has a challenge in San Francisco, in the backyard of Google, which is the preferred search engine, Bing or Google. Now we know for sure that if Bing is producing the ad, it's going to be swayed towards Bing. They're going to get some new users. Matter of fact, I have as a default option in the Microsoft operating system that I have a default option that comes up all the time on Bing. Bing is my search engine, and I don't use Bing very much personally. I have, and actually I get great search results. David's Barter and SmallBizDavid in quotation mark really gets great Bing search results, but they're not any better, any higher quality than the search results that we receive at Google. As a matter of fact, we'll have to figure out how many people that go to Bing and how many people that go to Google to find out about David's Barter and SmallBizDavid actually end up coming to the community, coming to the front door, coming to davidsbarter.com, and not only coming to the front door, but registering to become a member of the community. That's why we do what we do. We want to drive traffic to our community, and the numbers of folks that are coming to our community every day are increasing. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But we are studying very closely then just coming to the community is great. That's a start. It has to start there. But how many folks then register, and how many folks then create a complimentary community marketing profile for themselves, which will enable other people to find them inside of our community by their use of small business keywords. Then the next step, how many people will play the entrepreneur's fun game. So we look at it and analyze it in 3 different perspectives. Maybe in the next 69 days, I will be able to tell you which of the search engines. I don't even know where Yahoo ranks. I never did a search. I'm going to do a search for SmallBizDavid, in quotation marks, or David's Barter on Yahoo. See what happens. We know what happens in Google. We know what happens on Bing. Back to the Zuck, Facebook Effect. If you haven't read the book, get a copy of the book. It's a great story. And pay particular attention to Chapter 6. Chapter 6, which begins on page 128, is called Becoming a Company. And I guess Mark was quoted as saying, being CEO in a company is a lot different than being college roommates with someone. Not as provocative as what I'm going to share with you right now, but here are the Zuck's 3 top tips about starting a business. Number 1, don't decide to start up. That's in quotation marks, the word decide. So much of the lesson I've learned is that it's really hard to decide to start a company, Zuckerberg said. With Facebook, I didn't start to start a company. It was mostly just through wanting to build it and having it to be the hobby, and getting people around me excited. So, as he started Facebook, it wasn't really to build a business. It was to take his talents as a computer scientist, his programming talents, and create the programs that would allow people to connect with one another. So his intent was not to start a business. He alludes in this presentation that he did that I had this one friend who I went to have pizza with almost every night. We actually saw that in the movie, Social Network. We did all of our computer science problem sets together at Harvard. I remember telling him I was working on this Facebook thing, and I thought it would be cool as a service for Harvard. And in fact, in the early days of Facebook, you had to have a college email address in order to create a profile for yourself on Facebook. Then he made 2 decisions. 2 decisions that would make him a billionaire, a multi-billionaire, in less than 8 years. And those were opening up Facebook to the rest of the world and not just those living on college campuses with college email addresses. And number 2, allowing people to post pictures on their Facebook profile. Making those 2 decisions, the growth of Facebook was exponential. So you think they were pretty good decisions? Well, yeah. Okay, number 2 point. Here's a good one. Confront the competition head on. Zuckerberg and his team purposely decided to launch Facebook at other colleges that already played host to social networking sites, thus taking on the competition in the most direct manner. So whose website is better, yours or mine? That's taking the competition head on. Now, that's the, well, let me finish reading and make my comment then. The decision was made in order to determine whether Facebook was, in fact, something worth pursuing. Was it something bigger than Harvard? Is there anything bigger than Harvard? Uh, Trivia question. Very simple trivia question. What two individuals, with the Zuck being one of the two, went to Harvard, dropped out of Harvard, I believe both in their sophomore years, and went on to create companies worth billions of dollars? You already know Zuck was one, and of course, the other one was Bill Gates. And what an amazing thing Bill Gates did as he built Microsoft. Speaking of Microsoft, didn't they just make the most major announcement that they've ever made in the last 10 years? And that's the introduction of Windows 8. The biggest introduction of an operating system that they've ever made. And coming at a time when less than half the world use PCs. What a bold move. But, of course, the operating system must be mobile, must have mobile application. And that was the second thing that I didn't mention about Facebook in terms of challenges. Building a search engine that was really something just bigger than searching somebody's name. The searching for information. That's what will create a powerful search engine inside of Facebook. The other thing is their mobile technology, and not just the technology itself, but how do you monetize? Remember I talked about monetization of your business idea. How do you monetize that mobile business model? That indeed is a challenging question, because mobile technology has created a marketplace where the pay per click is less than what it was in traditional PCs or Macs or whatever you had on your desktop, in your office, in your home. And so it is going to be more challenging to create as profitable a business model, but something that must be done. Okay, number 3, and the final one. Here's a great lesson of entrepreneurship and starting a business. Be extremely flexible. Explore what you want to do before committing, Zuck says. Keep yourself flexible. Starting a company too rigidly is going to change what it is that you can do. In particular, Zuckerberg said startups need to be able to adjust to their audience. We may have a great business idea, but it doesn't become a great business idea until the marketplace buys your idea. You may start out here and end up here with that idea, and that's okay. That's the flexibility that Zuck is talking about, that you have to be open-minded, that you might have the conceptual framework of what it is that you think the marketplace wants, what's going to bring value to them, what is going to bring value to their business, value to their lives, and if they buy your product or service, what kind of return on resource investment will there be? Flexibility. I can speak to that directly, because where I started 3 years ago, as I started to build David's Barter community, and where I am today, it's conceptually in the same place, but the way that I've gotten here is much different than how I thought I was going to get to where I am today. And that's okay, because we tested ideas to see what would work. We surveyed folks, and what we have today is the result of all that. But that's not where we started 3 years ago. We we actually started 3 years ago as a conventional website community, if you will. That's not where we are today. We're very unconventional in terms of being a website community. We are a community of very optimized, very Googleized landing pages inside of that web community. It's not our home page that tells the whole story. Our home page, no longer on the screen, begins the story, starts the story. You begin to register at davidsbarter.com to begin your journey. So I want to thank the folks at Startup Smart. We're the ones that have this blog, and Michelle Hammond actually wrote the story yesterday. Thank you for sharing the insights of the Zuck. They were great, great lessons to be learned, things that you need to think about as you start your business today.